with this form. Once all the forms have been submitted to headquarters, volunteers will come and give you food and shelter.
So how long will it take?
Given the size of the disaster, it'll probably take 2 to 3 weeks to finish filling out all the damage and then submitting them to headquarters. Now, wait here. I have to go see my boss. Oh my goodness, this is going to take so long. This house is destroyed and 70% of the roof is gone. This one is inaccessible and this one minor. I'm finally done. Here are all the forms I finished filling out. It took me 12 hours to complete. After looking at all the flood damage, I was wondering just how much does the nation really spend on flooding?
Actually, the nation spends $3.7 billion per year on flooding.
Really? That much?
Uh-huh. Anyway, good job with the assessments. I have another route for you to assess. But this time, thanks to these lovely girl engineers, I have a new iPad application for you to use.
Cool. How does it work?
We'll tell you about it.
We've made an app for you to use when you're assessing the houses.
First, you log in with the information given to you by your boss. Then you get to a page with all the houses you've already assessed. They are color-coded by the most damage. For example, red means destroyed and green only means affected. There's also a GPS map that tells you where you've already been and where you still need to go. It's just like Google Maps.
On this page, when you tap on a house, it brings you to a page where you can select the type of damage, the type of house, and other things you may need to know about the house. See, the criteria changes as you change the level of damage. You may also put other things you may need to know.
Oh, I think this will be very helpful as I'm doing my assessments. Thank you. Wow, this is going by so fast. This house is destroyed, this one is major, and finally this one is minor. I'm already done.
Boy, that was fast.
Yeah, I used her for Jimmy John's, but this app helps a lot too. I really like the color-coded houses and the highlighted routes. Now I'll never get lost again.
Okay, good work. Now, go help pass out food to the flood victims.
Okay.
Hey, that didn't take very long.
Yeah, I had something new to help me out. Here, have a sandwich. You know, you should really consider building a boat because I built one in the past and it worked pretty darn well.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that's the end of our skit. So as I mentioned before, this is the form the Red Cross currently uses as they're assessing the houses. But as you can see, this one is typed up, but when they actually do the assessments, it's all handwritten.
Do you want us to explain the app? Because you know it's hard to see from back there.
Here, we'll take a close-up demonstration.
Would you like
Yeah.
demonstration?
Okay.
Yeah, I could see the changing
Yeah.
things as you pressed it, but I couldn't understand what they showed.
Okay, yeah. So as Megan said, you get the information given to you by your boss, and then you log in. And then, yeah.
Okay, and then it brings you to this page where there's a map of your route, which is color-coded, like the blue is where you're supposed to go. And it also shows all the houses you've already assessed, which are color-coded by the amount of damage, as you can see by the key on the side. And it also tracks your GPS location, so then you won't get lost, you can always tell where you are.
Like Google Maps.
Like Google Maps, yeah.
And so if you want to create an assessment, and by the way, all this information up here is about the disaster, and that'll be already entered when you log in. So if you want to create an assessment, you just go here, and there are different levels of damage as I showed in the skit, so there's different criteria. Like this.
And this criteria is given to us by the Red Cross themselves, and this is what they use. And we just took that information and put them in check boxes. Because when we interviewed a disaster assessor from the Red Cross named Kelly Rowe, she said that in the car they kind of had debates about if a house was either destroyed or inaccessible, and that can affect stuff later on, so they really needed to be
The box.
So this is in coordination with the Red Cross assessment?
yes.
And is that the same as FEMA?
No.
Okay.
FEMA sometimes asks the Red Cross for their assessments of what happened, what they thought was the damage, but they also do other things with it.
FEMA is mainly for, like, they coordinate the insurance for the people who have their houses damaged, whereas Red Cross is more for, like, getting food and shelter for the people, not for insurance.
at how long it will be before they're able to move back in their house, if they're able to move back in their house. And this is closed. There we go. Okay.
Okay, so, now that we've showed you the checkboxes,
Yeah.
you just go about entering the information, number of floors, that was water level, and then, water level and
And
living
you can
area.
also change what type of building it is, so if it's single family home, or mobile home, or apartment, this also will do. See, and then the image changes with it, so you can keep track of it all, as you can see. So for this, the demo will do single family minorly damaged.
So,
Yeah, already entered the information in,
this is a demo.
like
so-
so.
Yeah, and then you check out the criteria, we'll just say that was
Yeah.
bad. And then,
Because
yeah,
Because on the form, as you can see, you have to handwrite everything that fits with the standards. But for this, it's just a checkbox, so you can check off the things that apply and add additional notes if you need to.
And ours is better than doing the form because, as Kelly Rose said, she's like the head of the natural disaster people from Minnesota, in the upper part of Minnesota. And she said that she types it all in, and it's really hard to read some people's writing and sometimes to get information wrong. With this app, she wouldn't have to type it up and it would all be there, and she wouldn't have to guess on information.
yeah.
And sometimes the paper forms will get lost and then they have to go and reassess the houses.
And that's not always the best thing.
Yeah.
With this, it'll just save automatically, and you always have it.
And then you just submit it when you get to an area of Wi-Fi.
Okay, so who's the programmer?
Well, a user interface designer from one of our sponsors, Magenic, she helped us use this app called App Cooker, and then she taught us how to use that and, make,
To make a demo of the real.
And then
Okay.
they did the demo itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys learned how to use this user interface prototyping
Yeah.
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. So then after you're done with all your assessments, you click save, and then it's added to the map, and you can go back and review it if needed.
So the real app design you identified here costs $100,000 to build.
Yeah, and that is for 8 weeks of hiring a project manager, programmers,
user interface
a
designer.
user interface designer, and testers. But that amount would pay over itself over time because of labor and
It's,
And when we say it's $100,000, it's really more like $97,000, but we're just estimating it.
we got this estimate from one of our sponsors, Magenic, who makes, apps, so they helped us find this estimate.
And then Karen Campion said that the app would take like less than half of the time than the paper forms, so that would save a lot of time.
And Karen she is a Red Cross disaster assessor, so. So, well,
We also actually had Rose's grandparents try the app, and they're not app interface designers.
because we know that for the Red Cross, they have lots of people who are, like
retirees.
and so we wanted to try to make our app as like intuitive as possible, and they were able to get it after a couple runs without even knowing all that much at the beginning, and then all of a sudden.
Also, when we introduce,
Okay, so you could take this app out and actually do assessments
Yes.
yourselves. How do you know what level, if it's destroyed or if it's,
Well, that's
You
why
know,
there's
those
the
other things.
check boxes that they gave us, that way you can see, oh, if the roof's gone, or if it's like just the window's broken, then you know it's not majorly affected. And so, that's,
Because if you like check all the boxes for minor, it's obviously minor, if you do like most of them for.
that's why the paper form, people would say would be major and really it was minor, but this way you make sure that it's that, because otherwise you go, oh, I'm not checking down anything, it must not be that, so it saves, it makes the data more accurate.
this was also the criteria that the Red Cross gave us, that they defined for each damage level.
But since, every disaster assessor gets this, but since, they're just trying to assess each house as best as they can, so they can help the people as fast as they can, they don't always refer to this sheet.
Okay.
So it's easy to mix things up, so the criteria on our app keeps it standard.
Okay. What are some of the existing solutions
Well, they
like
used
this
it.
that are out there?
Well, once they used the PDA to do their assessments, but it was like a calculator screen and not very advanced. So
Right.
it's like really small letters and
It
stuff.
was hard
but it's
to
really
use
hard.
and read.
Okay. I'm sort of wondering about insurance companies that do things like this.
Oh.
What do they have?
Oh, there's an app that Washington County is making. It's similar to this, except they're looking for more of the, insurance point of view, and they're getting most of their information for FEMA, but our app is specifically designed for the Red Cross.
And we asked Kelly Rowe about how she liked each one, and she liked ours a lot, and even a little bit more than the other.
She's seen both. Washington County was working with the Red Cross to implement their app, but we were showing our app to them too, and they liked ours a lot.
Well, like the things that the Washington County would add that the Red Cross only want is like number of deaths and like other stuff according to that deals with more the insurance type stuff, and they're only making the app for their counties, so
you can only use it there.
so it's not very as helpful to the Red Cross as they would like it,
But ours could be for like anywhere.
because it'd be owned by the Red Cross.
So if you had more time, what would you change or improve it in addition to what you have?
Well, what we wanted to do is make it an actual like working app rather than a demo, so.
That would be what we would do, the next step would be to make an actual app.
And
That-
then, we also wanted to actually implement it into the Red Cross, so that's what we wanted to do.
So is the Red Cross only looking at it as a cost saving and time saving measure?
It's cost saving, time saving, and it's getting help to people faster. It's also reducing like their paper level, because they have to have like 3 of each and every form, so they have huge binders everywhere.
And they fill out hundreds of those paper forms all the time, so they're killing lots of trees.
They want to get rid of paper, that's what they're trying to get after, and they're also trying to save time, because filling out these paper forms for 12 hours straight is really tedious, so that's more using.
All right, Candace, our time.
Thank you.
Some of our would you like some of our sources?
They kind of said who we interviewed.
Well, I'll just list some of the websites.
She's our researcher, she knows these.
So we visited floodsmart.gov and the American Red Cross website and the National Geographic website. We also looked at lots of books, but they're only floods.
And we also went to a Red Cross workshop in the summer, and we interviewed the disaster assessors and and Kelly Rowe, the lead of Northern Minnesota.
And the user interface designer on this.
Her name is Megan Ian.
Yeah, and also
Great.
Amy's dad, who is
Yeah.
an insurance adjuster.
Yeah, so he told us lots of things about floods, and so that also helped our decision on picking floods.
He goes everywhere, every time like a flood or a major disaster hits, he goes and
He's
assesses.
over there.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the presentation and for all of your answers, and best of luck in the rest of your day.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
You're welcome.